So in this video we are going to look at how we work out the formula of ionic compounds. Remember, an ionic compound is a compound, which means it contains two different types of elements chemically joined together in fixed proportions. And it's an ionic compound, which means it contains a metal ion bonded to a non-metal ion. So two examples are sodium chloride and magnesium chloride. Now, how do we work out the formula of these compounds? Now, we know that sodium chloride is NaCl, but magnesium chloride is MgCl2. Why is it that there is a ratio of 1 sodium ion to 1 chloride ion for sodium chloride, but for every magnesium ion there are 2 chloride ions for magnesium chloride? Why is there this difference? So in order to work this out, you first need to be really confident at working out what the charge of the ion will be for all the elements. So the main ones we need to know are the group 1 metals form ions with a charge of 1 plus. The group 2 elements form ions with a charge of 2 plus. The group 3 elements form 3 plus ions. The group 6 elements form 2 minus, and the group 7 elements form a 1 minus ion. The reason for this is all ions have stable electron configurations, which means they have full outer shells. Because group 1 elements have 1 electron in the outer shell, they lose the 1 electron, so they have 1 more proton in the nucleus than the total number of remaining electrons, and they are positively charged. Group 2 elements have 2 electrons in the outer shell, which are lost, so the ion has a charge of 2 plus. Similarly, group 6 elements need to gain 2 electrons, and when you gain 2 electrons you have a charge of 2 minus. So once you're confident at working out the ion, then we can easily look at how to work out the formula. So here is how you do it. The first step is to look at the name sodium chloride and realize there are 2 ions. You've got sodium ion and you've got a chloride ion. Next, you need to know what the charge is. I know sodium has a charge of 1 plus, so I'm going to write 1 plus and put it in a box. I know chloride ions have a charge of 1 minus, so I'm going to put a negative charge and draw a box around it. Now, the important fact is that ionic compounds are neutral overall. So, if I have a ratio of 1 sodium ion for every 1 chloride ion, they are neutral because the charges will cancel. So I've got 1 sodium and 1 chloride ion, so my formula will be Na1Cl1. But we don't write the ones in the formula. If I look at MgCl2, why is it MgCl2? Well, if I had to figure that out on my own, I would look at the 2 ions. I've got a magnesium ion and I've got a chloride ion. The magnesium ion has a charge of 2 plus, so 1 ion has 2 positive charges, whereas a chloride ion has a 1 negative charge, and so I can see the charges are not balanced. I'm going to have to add another chloride ion. So for every 1 magnesium ion I will need 2 chloride ions, so my formula will be MgCl2. Let's look at some other examples now. So let's look at lithium oxide. So the first step is to list the 2 ions. Well, I've got a lithium and an oxide ion. I know lithium is in group 1, so it will form an ion with a charge of 1 plus. I know oxygen is in group 6, so it will need to gain 2 electrons, so it will have a charge of 2 minus. This is not balanced in terms of charges. I'll need another positive lithium ion. So I'll need 2 lithium ions for every 1 oxide ion, so my formula will be Li2O. Another example, let's look at calcium bromide. Why don't you pause the video now and have a go yourself to see what you think the formula will be, using the same method here. So we've got 1 calcium ion. Calcium's in group 2. It will lose 2 electrons to get a 2 plus charge. Bromine is in group 7, which means it will gain 1 electron to get a full outer shell. I need 1 more bromide ion, so I'll have 1 calcium ion, and I'll need 2 bromide ions to make this neutral overall, so my formula will be CaBr2. Let's do another example, a bit more complicated this time. Let's go for aluminium oxide. Aluminium oxide consists of an aluminium ion, which is in group 3, so it will form an ion of 3+, an oxide ion, which has a charge of 2- because it's in group number 6, so it gains 2 electrons. Now, this does not balance out, so I'm going to need more ions. If I add another aluminium ion, I will have 2 aluminium ions, and then I'm going to need another oxide ion and another oxide ion. So I've got 6 positive charges for every 6 negative charges. So in total I've got 2 aluminium ions and 3 oxide ions. So my formula here will be Al2O3. If you think you're confident with that, why don't you pause the video and try the following questions by figuring out, first of all, name them, so name the compound, and second of all, I want you to work out the formula. The answers will be in the description below.